For more on the US election, joining me now live is political analyst and commentator Aidan Smith. Aidan, really appreciate your time today. What's your sense about how this could go today? I mean, we've seen 75 million people already cast their ballots early. It all comes down, of course, to today's vote. But what's your sense?
No, absolutely. It's always great to be on here. And I think, it's almost a cop-out to say, but I think the one thing about polling this time is that it really does suggest a photo finish. I think that it's always an issue, and I see a lot of people who really track religiously stuff about election day voting, what stuff like that matters. General consensus is that early voting looks more Republican this time, which is mainly just based on guesstimates and party registration numbers and whatnot. Election day voting will probably be more Democratic this time. Obviously, with the entire nation this nervous on either side, people love to read the tea leaves of, Philadelphia E-Day numbers. What does that mean for Harris? Really, the only thing that looks certain from any of the kind of early data is that Florida does look like it's cementing as a Republican stronghold, which is, continuing from the last few cycles. But yeah, it seems like Democrats, especially compared to in 2020 there's almost a sense of zen in a weird way, feeling like Harris did the best job she could have done as a candidate after taking over the reins from Biden, feeling really nervous about Trump winning again, but thinking, the current indications just empirically look like it will be obscenely close. Probably, in my opinion, we could see something like 2000 happening again, something at that level.
There's a lot of issues at play here, but one of them is the gender vote. And it's something that Kamala Harris has been playing to when it comes to reproductive rights and abortion. Donald Trump needs men to turn out. Kamala Harris needs women to turn out. We saw it in 2020 when more women did actually come out to vote. It helped Joe Biden get over the line. Is that the key this time round, is the gender?
Yeah, I absolutely think so. And it's kind of funny when, that scope creep of, giving an answer. You see, for many cycles of Democrats really holding out hopes that there would be a really decisive gender split in their favor, with, Clinton running in 2016 being kind of the most famous of this, really holding out for former Republican women in, suburbs, people with generally pro-choice views on abortion, turning out for them. And for the most part, this faltered to an extent. I mean, Democrats have done better with women than men for a good while. But in terms of looking at a really decisive split, it's kind of like how Republicans are really counting on, big segments of the population, like, for example, Cuban American voters voting Republican. And that was always something they held out for really strongly until it actually happened. And it kind of in 2016 and then 2020, when it kind of what I'm getting at is, for all I know, we could check the election results and we could see kind of what the Iowa shock poll suggests, where a really massive gender split, unlike anything even in 2020. And it could be that this is an election decided on abortion. On the other hand, I think it's something where we could see a gender split that's not all too unconventional, something where Republicans still get over 40% of women, even if they lose among women as a whole, which is pretty much guaranteed, as has been the case. So depending, I think it's really just like, this could be something just incredibly decisive in a way that's not predicted by past elections. And on the other hand, I think it really is something where once we start getting votes trickling in, I think it'll be really worthwhile to see how this looks.
Yeah, look, absolutely. We know that Kamala Harris has in particular been relying on celebrities. I mean, we've just seen her in the last 24 hours with Oprah and Lady Gaga amid a myriad of other celebrities. Why should America trust the judgment of these people? I mean, we're talking the elites of society. These people have money, and Kamala Harris is really pitching to that middle America. Why would voters trust celebrities?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair question in general. And I also think of that in terms of it's generally not A-list Hollywood people, but you do have a lot of big cultural figures, either people like Elon Musk, who's obviously wealthiest person in the world currently and is, such a key figure in industry. Or even you have people like Brett Favre or, other people we think of in kind of more culturally conservative sectors of society. My general answer is that, and this is kind of a generic one, but I'm always amazed that there's just always so many undecided voters in the end. I think that's something when I talk to people of all stripes who work in politics or politics adjacent fields. It's always surprising when, I'm someone as invested in following this stuff. It's always surprising that there are people who follow it till the very end. And yeah, it's weird to think that, and I like Lady Gaga and, respect her as a person. I think that for someone, the idea of someone who's just totally undecided, and deciding to vote for Harris based on her comments. I mean, stuff like that, empirically probably exists to some extent. It's just always is something I look at and I'm like, I'm just really surprised that people just a few days out from the election would be swayed by that. I guess we'll just have to see how big of a sway it actually is.
Absolutely. We certainly will see. Aidan Smith, really good to chat with you. Thank you so much for joining us.